two every month, they'll wind up and wind down just to make sure they're working. So it's not, and there is a tiny bit of gas or biodiesel used, but it's not, in the grand scheme of things, it's very small.
My understanding is it's going to be biodiesel generators, and the noise they'll produce will be once a month for testing, similar to downtown when the state buildings test every week on their generator.
A comment and then I have a question. So my comment is kind of contrary to what everyone else has been saying. So I feel as though that this is Lansing's opportunity to participate in cross-sector innovation. MSU Fribb's nuclear physics research combined with Deep Green's computing infrastructure could potentially spark new applications in our region that can contribute to medicine, material science, energy technologies that would just benefit everybody. So my question to Deep Green is, do you intend to enter into any type of formal agreements to align the computing resources with the Fribb's needs?
We would love to. Yeah, we would love to try. And sort of commit to sort of definitely having those conversations. So absolutely, we'd love to start those conversations.
All right. Yes, you sir.
Yeah, I just have a question for would there be a case in the event of an increase of demand from new development downtown, not the new development that's already been announced, but additionals after that, would you guys have to create another power substation that would then in turn cause increases for customers by building a new plant to service more? But you saying you're gonna have a surplus?
That's a possibility with growth, but it would not incur cost for the rate-based customers, because the customer coming onto the grid has to pay the 100% of those increases. Just like Deep Green's going. Existing customers have to be made whole on this. And so your question is right. There could be, we see a lot of expansion in the Lansing area, and it could gobble that energy up pretty fast. And if we have to come up with additional energy, that would be the responsibility of a new customer coming on.
You're welcome. What you mentioned was the construction jobs that would bring into the area. Now, is there a commitment by you guys to hire local contractors? And by local contractors, I don't mean Chicago. I mean, at the very minimum, Michigan, but preferably Lansing contractors.
We haven't done vendor selection. That's always what we try and do. So that will be in every sort of tenders.
Is there a way for you guys to commit to that? To commit to finding contractors?
Yeah, we've met with local unions and we'll use local union labor. You know, I can't commit. I don't know if there's sort of some niche sort of pipe welding work that isn't in state, so I don't want to make commitments we can't hold on to, but that's absolutely our priority to ensure that.
So there's potential it's not really helping jobs here.
No, the majority, or if not all of them, will be local union jobs.
Timeline of the design and build time.
Yeah, break it down very roughly, and these things depend on external factors, but you know, say a 3-month design, so that would take us towards the halfway point of next year, and then the lead time items of up to a year, so we're probably looking early to mid 27 for go live date, if everything goes well. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Brad Clark, Lansing resident. There's a facility in downtown Detroit that was built by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers called the Zero Net Energy Center. It has integrated photovoltaics and batteries. Now, nice thing about renewables is they're very cheap, but they're intermittent. So you really need an integrated system with batteries. So for you, Luke, and for you as well, can you talk about the integration of renewables and batteries?
Yes, right now we're going to build one of the largest battery facilities and at our plant out on facility out on Canal Road, and we're just getting ready to pull the trigger. We had to put on a hold. The tariffs drove the price of batteries up 50%, which made them uneconomical, but we expect that once that rolls off or gets back to a normal, because the batteries have to be outsourced out of the U.S. They don't have the type of battery we need made here, because we do try to buy all USA made at VWL. So once that rolls down, then we will integrate them. Hopefully bring the battery plant back to fruition. But it's designed, it's ready to go. It's just the core ingredients, the battery, and there was a 55% increase increase on the cost of the batteries and made it uneconomic to do. So it drove a rate increase that we didn't want. We found not palatable.
Just want to add on the renewables point. You know, electric cars increase power, heat pumps increase power, all green technologies increase the load on the electricity grid. That's just a fact. So saying that an increase in power necessarily means a increase in long-term emissions. You know, that's just the nature. We're going through a massive electrification drive, and that includes a lot of green technology. So I don't think it's quite a sort of fair comparison.
All right. Monica?
Thanks for being here. So I understand that you're European-based. Are you active, whether it's at this level or already constructing or already operating anywhere else in the United States?
We are looking at a lot of different sites. So I've spent the week, I've driven from St. Paul to here, looking at lots of different sites on the way, which has been really exciting. You know, we don't know which one's going to be our first, but we hope to develop a number of sites here and have a presence here and you know, have a team here.
Okay, so nowhere else, so we could be the first, or we're the first that maybe have gotten this far.
You could be the first, yeah.
Okay.
Within Lansing, walking distance to the site and working with workforce development policy. I have a question for you. We've kind of heard a little bit about it based on questions about wages and then.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've heard questions, I can stand it. We've heard questions on wages and also construction jobs. I'm just curious, are there any commitments in place? So I'm pretty skeptical on anything, if it's a promise, if it's in policy and it's actionable and enforceable. Are there any commitments in place to hire the actual data center workers from the Lansing area, or are these jobs that could potentially be filled by people from the UK, people from Chicago? Are they highly specialized technical positions? We talked a little bit about it, but what do the jobs at the site look like specifically? Could they be hired from Lansing people? Is there a commitment to that?
There are 100% very specialist jobs, and to be totally honest, I don't know if they exist in this area. Most of it, it's laying concrete pads, it's normal piping, it's normal electric, so absolutely there will be talent here in Lansing that we will use. There might be some very specialist stuff that might have to come from elsewhere, but we don't know that yet.
I'll just jump in real quick, if I could.
Hold on one second. Not the construction so much, but the day-to-day actual data center jobs.
If I could, I was with the CEO of Deep Green a month ago, and we met with LEAP, the Lansing School District, representatives from MSU, LCC, specifically on workforce development, and that was a commitment that was made, is to not only employ local people, but develop and support the local workforce. And so there is coordination and meetings happening, and continued conversations that the CEO of Deep Green had. And so I think that's speaking to your point there.
Yeah, thanks. And I know you won't be able to make a commitment now, but I, as a resident, walking distance to this place, I walk past it day to day. Like on my way to work, it's literally on my walking path. I would recommend, especially also with the BAWL promises to rate increases or offsetting of rate increases, residents would want an actionable policy that's enforceable, that we see an actual tangible impact from. I like the promises, it sounds great, but down the road I'd like to see an actual line item that says this is what happened in Lansing, if assuming this were to go on, right? This is what happened, this is exactly how it affected our rates, and then that way, we wouldn't necessarily get buyer's remorse 2-5 years down the line, however.
My question was, I guess it's not a question since you can't really speak on the design elements of the project right now, but as a public health professional, I've been very concerned about the emerging research around the public health impact of data centers. There's a lot we don't know. In future transparency around the design principles of how the cooling system works, I think it would be really important for us to know just more details on the kind of long-term potential risks to the public and public health of those cooling systems. From what I've read, there's 3 different proposed cooling systems. One of them involves the submersion of these chips in this coolant solution. From what I've read about that type of technology, it can include PFAS chemicals, chemicals that will potentially pose risk to our environment. So I guess I would encourage you as future to be more transparent about potential risks, and if you've had leaks at other sites, what happened in those businesses? How did you mitigate those risks? Yeah, so
Sure.
not a question, but
No,
more
it's
transparency on that.
It's definitely appreciated. It's something we're really proud of, so we want to communicate it. As soon as we can, we'll communicate the exact design principles that we're using. We can share what we're doing in the UK, and hopefully that will help. We'll put it on the website.
First of all, there's talent in this city. I think sometimes we get sold as like these dumb hicks that don't know what we're doing, and I don't like that. I'm not calling anybody in this room or anybody in our city a dumb hick. Our city is diverse, it is smart, we are talented. The automotive industry didn't build us, we built the automotive industry. And I want to make sure that you know there's talent here, so please look hard, because sometimes they're hiding in basements.
Yeah.
And that got me thinking, I hope this doesn't sound so bad. Why should we invest this resource in you? Because we do have talent here. We can do this. We've rabbit mined, we've recovered heat in ACD, we've done a lot of things, closed loop systems, we understand networks. Why should we let you in and be our new partner here when your profits are going to go to the UK? You're going to extract a little bit from us, and I don't know, I know your revenue's coming in from outside, so you're importing money in, that's cool, but why you instead of one of us?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's a question for you, not for us. And we obviously want to develop sites, and that's our job. So we'll try and do that wherever we can. We hope to provide as much benefit to local communities whilst doing so. The general trend is not UK companies investing in America and taking profits to Britain. It's very much the other way around. If you look at our news, it's all why American tech companies, American pharmaceuticals. What happens generally is European companies go to America, the American company becomes bigger than the European, it then reverse swallows it, and Deep Green will be an American company. So just that is the general trend. Not one that maybe I'd like to see, but generally that happens. But yeah, noted. And I think that's a question for you. We can't answer who you invite into your city.
I think being early on the cap table would probably be.
Community for coming out to this. It's just amazing to see you all here and to hear your well-researched questions. Like, I'm blown away. So my question is kind of a gotcha question for BWL, so sorry. At a council meeting a few weeks ago, we heard that you were kind of consolidating the decision-making power in BWL into the general manager for all data center decisions. And I know that got pulled, or I heard that. I'm just wondering kind of what was going on there, what was the thought process?
Yeah, no, it's not a gotcha question. I proposed it, and then after we saw, the intent was, right now, if a data center comes here and they were looking for rezoning, we're serving, but we can't pick and choose who we serve. And so I wanted to put more stringent requirements in for the data center, but the piece on the rates is what upset people. They think the rate making should with the commissioner. I didn't think that at the time because we were going to charge them a higher rate. I didn't think that folks that sent the emails, they thought we were going to give them a lower rate. But once I understood that, we'll leave the rate making decision with the commission. And so I pulled the resolution when I saw that. The contract enhancements that I wanted are within my purview anyway, so I didn't need them to go to the commission. It was just being transparent. So any rate strategy that is going to come out of this will go to the commission, and they will have a public hearing and listen to the public and move forward. So it was kind of, for lack of a better word, it backfired because the new technology that we're looking to put on the site is more expensive. And we said that we will not burden our ratepayers with that, so since Deep Green is getting all that energy, it's only fair they pay for it. The rules don't allow that. The rules, if they submit an application, anybody submits an application for 10 megawatts and they go to our website, all those rules and regulations are posted, you serve. And in this case, it's here because of zoning. So we took that opportunity to work with Deep Green, who has been 100% on board. Hey, we want to try this. If this will help lower, a a different energy source that's new and potentially can be considered clean, we want to try that. But new technology is very expensive, and we didn't want to gamble